Welcome to this short presentation on brainstorming with MindGenius. I'm Jamie MacDonald. The aims of this presentation are to provide you with insights into how MindGenius, one, provides a highly engaging platform for truly effective brainstorming, and two, enhances efficiency and effectiveness of your brainstorming and information gathering processes. So let's go straight into MindGenius to prove all of this through a live demonstration of how MindGenius is a definite go-to tool for brainstorming and information gathering in general. First of all, if I may, a bit of context. First of all, I'll start with what is brainstorming. There are many definitions of brainstorming, as well as a diverse range of thoughts about the process, the methods, and the actual value. However, in the context of both this presentation and the functionality and benefits of MindGenius, as you'll see shortly, I would like us to look at the original definition as a point of focus, if you like, for the presentation. Research shows us the original aim of brainstorming, or the description of brainstorming, was, as you see it there, a group creativity technique by which efforts are made to find a conclusion for a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas spontaneously contributed by members. As a point of interest, if I highlight the key words and the phrases there, they're interesting and certainly fit with a large part of what MindGenius is all about. Group, creativity, conclusions to specific problems, gathering ideas, and spontaneously contributed. Now, the advantages in terms of bringing further context in terms of the strengths and weaknesses of brainstorming, the advantages and benefits of brainstorming are there to be seen. It's a powerful and very valid technique for capturing people's knowledge, experience, and creativity. Equally, of course, individuals can, of course, brainstorm, but the method is particularly designed for engaging with groups of people and using it in team sessions. It involves and engages individuals and teams. It enables the creation of new ideas. It helps solve problems. It gets groups and teams working together towards a common goal and acts as a launch pad or catalyst to improving processes and performances. Let's take a quick look at the weaknesses and disadvantages, as they will be more relevant when we look at the strengths and advantages of MindGenius itself. They're wide and varied, but mainly in the areas of the methods and process can lack stimulation and flow at times. There's inadequate methods to capture and visualize ideas and inputs. We can be restricted sometimes to the capture-only process, sometimes leaving ourselves with a complex mass of information and a sense of where do we go next. And also sometimes linked in with that is a lack of context or qualification of the ideas and the information. Do we have clarity? Do we clearly understand the landscape we're looking at, or there's still a lot of work to do? And lack of momentum to the crucial stages of moving to priorities, decisions, and the all-important actions. So that sets the scene for some of the disadvantages and weaknesses that MindGenius address. So let's now go to MindGenius live. Let me demonstrate how you can bring more effectiveness and efficiency to your brainstorming sessions. For demonstration purposes, only to save time, I'm going to use a mock example. Let's imagine that I'm using MindGenius with you in a team meeting. MindGenius has been projected on a screen, and we're going to brainstorm the topic ideas to improve the business. All you need to do is simply start a new map and then just type into the title of your brainstorm into the middle of the screen, which is waiting to be typed into. And you press enter on your keyboard. So it's type and enter, or the return key as some people call it, type and return. And all you do then is that simple type and return methodology. There's no looking for add buttons or plus buttons or anything else. We simply type and return to add further branches. So for instance, somebody came up with the fact that we need to look at devising and oversees marketing strategy. Somebody else suggests that we need to improve the website. So you can see just by type and return that it's very quick. In fact, it's just as quick as writing post-it pads and putting them up on whiteboards or flip charts. And that's just the brainstorm, type and return. And you can imagine how quick and effective that is, and how visual it is. One thought will trigger off another thought, and you get a collaborative environment. In the interest of managing your time, let me just show you quickly how that would have ended up. So you've got 20 or so ideas. No need to read them, no need to worry about what it actually says. You get the gist of it. In any brainstorm situation, the effect is that you quickly capture the information. So that's what it would have looked at. And this is much easier than the traditional way of capturing. It's quicker, easier, and more engaging and visual than the more traditional methods such as whiteboards, flip charts, and post-its, and so on and so forth. Some brainstorming sessions would end at that point. The session has been facilitated and conducted solely for the purposes of capturing everyone's ideas. What's happening on the white screen in front of you, in fact, is a capture of knowledge, experience, and creativity. And that's one of the beauties of using MindGenius live with people. In this case, either another meeting would be organized to take the exercise on to the next stage, or the facilitator, meeting organizer, or some other designated person would be tasked with working with all this information to make sense of it, distill it, etc., and maybe come up with suggestions or solutions on moving forward. Whatever the approach, I want to show you the power of MindGenius when applied to move this process forward. Let's look at how you can visualize the information, in particular with a need to recognize patterns, trends, associations, gaps, etc. If I show you the same information, but this time after having moved the map content around into groupings agreed by the team. So we agreed there was marketing issues, budgeting issues, and so on. The information is still the same, but we've dragged branches around the map. You can move any branch into hierarchy or structure or order within MindGenius. So this, what we call drag and drop functionality, is a quicker and more engaging approach than some cumbersome and time-consuming traditional methods such as these whiteboards, flip charts, and post-it pads we saw. Some people use spreadsheets and so on. So we've effortlessly created order and structure to aid understanding, to provide further clarity. The brain tends to work better when it sees associations and linkages and patterns and trends. At this point, I want to highlight, and I'm just moving the map to another layout, that's all I'm doing here. I want to highlight Map Explorer on the left-hand side. The Map Explorer replicates the structure of the map, all of the map, in an expandable, collapsible format by selecting a topic that isolates that segment of your brainstorm into focus on the screen. This creates more white space and a less cluttered or complex view. Extremely useful for building maps, for building bodies of knowledge such as processes, tasks, project plans, etc., and for visualizing and navigating and gaining understanding and identifying gaps, or communicating any size or presenting any size of subject matter that has been mapped. So we can look at the whole picture in chunks, in digestible chunks. Should you wish to drill down on any of the captured aspects, and you're seeing there 2 levels of branches, you can of course just click on a branch and just do your type and return to give more depth and body to that map. And that type and tongue functionality can be applied to any branch at any level, so you can drill down and add further detail as you see fit. What I want to share with you now is the way that MindGenius enables you to quickly and effortlessly analyze and prioritize information from your brainstorm. I'm going to demonstrate this using a variation of the initial brainstorm map, the first level, if you like, of the raw capture. You will probably have noticed the slight difference in that all the branches now have colored icons on the left-hand side. These are what we call categories. The scenario here is that as with any similar information gathering exercise or brainstorm, we need to quickly move to prioritization, sorting and moving to well-informed decisions and outcomes. We've seen how we can group and move branches visually, but MindGenius is also preloaded with a set of categories. For instance, impact levels, priority levels, performance ratings, decision-making indicators, risk scoring, etc. You can customize categories to suit your own requirements. In this scenario, the team agreed that we needed to get a sense of how important the captured ideas were in terms of importance or impact to the business. And we went through a very useful and important exercise of discussing that and agreeing branch by branch, topic by topic, what was important, the level of importance. And we're quickly able to apply the categories just by clicking on each relevant one, in this case high, medium and low. Then we were able to visualize and analyze the information in two ways. We can create a category-centric map of the information to allow it to give us a different perspective. And that puts the map into an affinity diagram, which then portrays the information in terms of the categories that you've described. And that gives us a good overview and a perspective, as I said. We can also filter on the existing map using the filtering mechanism to filter on any category we wish, and we can hide the non-matching. So how often have you worked with flip charts, whiteboards and post-its and struggled with the need to make sense of all the information, to wait and take more time and effort and resource to have a separate exercise carried out to get to the next stage? So what I want to do now is basically to discuss another couple of things that might help, a trio of interesting features that will help us in almost capturing information and keeping on track. There's a timer that we can bring in, allows us to manage the time for the whole session or for a particular branch or part of the map. How often have we mismanaged time at the expense of quality and output requirements? There are question sets within the product that we can introduce to any exercise, where we can have a list of question sets around any particular method. This one is a pestle method, and we can use that when we're preparing maps. It gives us a prompt to ensure depth and quality of input by addressing each question, and we can use many of the pre-installed question sets, or you can create your own. MindGenius also has templates on the right-hand side. There are some around every sort of personal education and personal productivity, and these templates, if we select one, for instance, for brainstorming, we can look at how to do a pestle analysis or a SWOT analysis. Brings up a map as a starter for 10, and it allows you it outlines that process or that methodology, and it can be added to and altered to and used. And you can, of course, save any maps as your own templates to share with others and reuse over and over, saving time, encouraging best practice, and saving reinventing wheels. So I hope that at this point you've got a flavour for the functionality and power of MindGenius when it comes to capturing information and working with it to gain better clarity and understanding. I want to take you through just a few more further value-adding and efficiency-enhancing functions for what I would call Brainstorming Plus. Let me share some of those with you. We can, at any time, attach a document, just a browse facility where we can link any amount of documents to any branches. We can also hyperlink to URLs. The benefit of that is that in a brainstorm you might want to draw on information that already exists within the organization, so you have it at your fingertips. You also build up knowledge pathways. You can attach any document, spreadsheet, presentation, any other MindGenius maps, sound clips, web pages, and so on and so forth. You can manage tasks with MindGenius. You can assign due dates and ownership to a map, so we can assign a due date and a name, so we give the feeling of not only talking about things but actually going on to manage these tasks. We can, on an ongoing basis, track and monitor these tasks by filtering or to get critical information or pinch points. MindGenius always integrates with Outlook, where you can export tasks straight from MindGenius to each task owner's Outlook task schedule if you use Outlook. MindGenius will also synchronize back away at any time you wish, pulling the task progress and status data from Outlook and updating the map. We can also map out projects and work breakdown structures. Excellent for scoping projects and creating project scopes and work breakdown structures. And MindGenius has its own integral Gantt view facility that allows you to schedule. Go straight from the map, using the map and using a Gantt chart all in one, all in MindGenius, without the need to export to MS Project, which it actually does as well. Filtering capability on task due dates, on resources, on outstanding tasks, and so on and so forth. And also an export to Word, to a highly professional, highly visual and extensive project report if you need to do that, and extrapolate all the data into a presentation format for ongoing sharing, communication and collaboration purposes, ongoing management of a project. And also the ability to export any map into the MS Office suite of Word, PowerPoint, Excel project, and so on and so forth. Great creative front end to preparing presentations, authoring documents, and so on and so forth. So I hope very much that as we approach the end of the session, I just want to recap briefly on the real tangible benefits that MindGenius brings to your brainstorming processes, not to mention other day-to-day activities that I'm sure you now recognize and appreciate. MindGenius brings a more efficient and productive way of working, ensuring easy and quick, highly visual approaches to engaging groups and teams of people, to capturing knowledge, experience and creativity, to visualizing and gaining clarity on the captured information, to establish, identify themes, patterns and gaps, to establish and clarify key issues and priorities, and arrive at well-informed decisions, moving ideas and knowledge to all of the above to tangible outcomes, tasks, deliverables, or project plans, as we've just seen. MindGenius transforms brainstorming from idealistic methodology to a more practical application that accelerates clarity, focus, understanding, decision-making, and actions. And the bottom line in all of this is that it increases efficiency and effectiveness, saving you time and effort, and the whole process and the people, in fact, become more productive. So as if you realize that there are weaknesses or lack of efficiency in your brainstorming process, or indeed in any similar fact-finding, knowledge capture, research or planning processes, I strongly recommend you take a serious look at MindGenius. If you haven't already done so, but now recognize that it could help you make your brainstorming and planning processes more efficient, you can download and trial the free 30-day full product trial version available from our website at www.mindgenius.com. We provide a comprehensive range of support materials such as sample maps, how-to guides, user guides, etc. from both within the MindGenius health files and also on our website. We also are of course available to help you out at a personal level at any time, so please don't hesitate to contact us, contact your account manager or email us direct at support@mindgenius.com. If you have any further questions or need to for any further help and assistance for either evaluating MindGenius, gaining further know-how for better use or for wider adoption within your team or the wider business, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Finally, from me, Jamie MacDonald, and indeed the whole MindGenius team, thank you for taking the time to watch this Brainstorming with MindGenius presentation.